welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. My name is Kasia. I am your host. Today we're going to continue the unboxing and review series, and we're going to take a look at the Finnex Plant 24/7 Planted Plus Light. I got this free of charge from Finnex to try. So as all of my reviews and unboxings go, we're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to unbox this, and then we're going to set it up and see initially what my initial impression of this light is, and see if it's cool, if it's easy to use, and if I like it or not. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's take a close look at the packaging. So this is the Finnex 24/7 Planted Plus ALC light. It is customizable, automated, and an LED light, and it comes with a programmable remote, which is pretty cool. It shows you what the product looks like right here. And then here we're going to get into some details. So right over here, it is showing you the different modes that are available for the different light spectrum. It says true 660 nanometer deep LED lights. At least I think that NM stands for nanometer. Customizable colors and intensity in 8 fully automatic time slots. Automated 24-hour day and night cycle synchronizing all color phases throughout the day. So it's got sunrise, high sun, sunset, and starry night. And right over here, it shows you what the LEDs look like, and as well as the remote. More of the name right over here. And then on the back, right over here, it has some product precautions, as well as more information, such as the model, the dimensions, features, the wattage, information on installation, and input and output. And then the information kind of repeats. I actually filmed myself unboxing this already, but if I move and touch my camera while it's mounted, it'll stop. It'll just cancel whatever was recording. So I don't have that anymore. So I'm just going to show you the light itself right over here. Here is what the light looks like. This is the aluminum top right here. You can see the LEDs, as well as the clear mounting brackets, which are pretty cool. So this is what it looks like. Now, it is attached right over here, so you can't remove it from here, but it does allow for you to remove it down the line. So there is a point right here where you can detach it if you would like to do so without like fully unplugging it, I guess, from the socket. And then we have already plugged in the power source right over here. So it's nice and ready to go. So I'm gonna get the remote, and we're just gonna try out what it looks like over here before I test this out on an aquarium, just to get an idea. So this is the remote that comes with this. And honestly, when I saw this, my first impression was I got a little intimidated because I saw all of the buttons, and I was like, oh my, where do I even begin? But I guess the best place to start would be with the on and off button. So we'll click that right over here. And as you can see, this is super, super bright. I'm actually gonna turn this down, my ISO, so you can see this a bit better. But this is what the light looks like. And it does come with 2 demo buttons. So I'm going to press the first demo button just so we can see how it cycles through the different color modes without putting it in an aquarium first. Just kind of gives you a rough idea of what it will look like, the different intensities, and I kind of like it. It's very entertaining to look at as it's just kind of cycling through and changing ground and then turning off, and then it's gonna start again. There's also different modes. Like, for example, this is the kind of sunny day mode, and then we have the starry night mode, which is kind of a nighttime light, which I think those are cool if you have friends coming over and it's nighttime and you want them to see your tank, but you don't want to turn on your lights and, you know, bother your fish too much. That's kind of an option. I wouldn't really have this naturally running because I don't know if that would contribute to algae growth or not. They also have kind of like a cloudy day option, which is definitely not as strong as the maximum. The maximum is really, really strong, as you can see. And then there is a a kind of thunder nighttime storm version, which I'm going to give you a warning if you have any light sensitivities to flashing. You know, here's your warning because this will flash, so just letting you know. So this is kind of what it looks like. It will have a normal light that will sort of kind of do a flash every now and then. I don't really know what the function of this is other than if you just really want to make it cool, super cool and stormy. I don't know if this bothers the fish or not, but I guess it's interesting to have. So this comes with a couple different instructions included. First of all, when you open the light, there is this instruction that kind of pops out at you, and this lets you know not to get this aquarium light wet. Any splashing from filters or sponge filters, so you have to be very careful. They recommend using a lid, so if you want your light to last a long time, preferably use a lid. I'm gonna kind of YOLO it. I don't have a lid, but that is a risk that, you know, I'm taking myself, and this kind of lets me be aware of this. So this is kind of good to know that, you know, just don't make sure it doesn't get wet. It's not too humid in here. Take care of your light. There is also, when you open up the remote, and you can definitely pause this and read this if you would like, but this is the remote troubleshooting, which I think is good to have, you know, in case you have any issues right off the bat, you have information with the remote. There is, of course, safety instructions included, which is, you know, good to have for any type of anything that you use. So once again, if you're into this, you can totally pause this and read this. I like to make this available just, you know, so you can check this out yourself. So this is the instruction. Let me zoom out a little bit. So it talks about safety hazards. It says for extreme temperature conditions, allow the unit to settle to room temperature before operating, and it should not perform under extreme conditions. Make sure that it's secured on top of the aquarium, free of splash, moisture, and excess humidity. It's telling you how to mount it. So, you know, this is important stuff. If you want your light to last, you have to kind of always be mindful of the safety precautions. So here is the custom schedule quick start. So I will be reading this in a sec to try to figure out if I can understand easily how to program the 24-hour cycle. It's explaining the sensor indicator keys and kind of, I guess, lets you know if you have programmed it. It'll blink with the light. Then there is more information for the remote. It's a little, there we go. I'm gonna try to make this as easy as possible so you don't see a lot of glare, but at any point feel free to pause the video if you would like to read any of this and familiarize yourself with it. And then there is some more troubleshooting, as well as some information about the 24/7 memory, the custom colors, pairing, color control. And then in the back, it's telling you how to adjust so that you have the appropriate fixture for the appropriate tank. So there is an option for a rimless tank and a framed tank. So it's got installation, it's got all the information for the leg assembly. Now, I have the actual brackets right over here. Let me see if I can, they're a little hard to show you on camera against the white because they're very clear. So this is what they look like, but I don't know, I don't think I received any extra pieces. And then right over here, the last part that we're going to take a look at are the frequently asked questions, which, you know, is nice to have. So how you know if the light fixture is responding to the remote. When a command is received, the fixture will briefly flash. So if you see any of the flashing, that will be why. Why are some buttons responsive and what others are not? So it's explaining this, how to set the correct time on the fixture, how to store the colors, and in case it gets stuck, here's your little information, and you also get a warranty. Oh, I guess I forgot to show this part. So this is the warranty information, and it's telling you what is and isn't covered. So I think this is good to have. I also like to keep these in the videos in case you lost your warranty card for your particular light. If you have the same one, you can actually go back and check out what mine said. So the tank that I would like to put this light on will be this tank. Currently it's got a just basic night crew light. These are very like low budget, you know, affordable but not fancy lights. If you're really on a budget, that's kind of like what I would recommend, especially for a low light setup. But as you can see, it doesn't really light this fully all the way. It's kind of fine, like my plants are still going, but you can tell that the light next to it is a lot stronger. I wanted to show you real quick for comparison. This is my old Finnex Stingray light, and it is super crusty. I have abused this poor light so much. Let's zoom out a bit. So we have a lot of glare, but hopefully that will go away. So we have it plugged in. I'm just gonna try it out. Got the remote, and boom. So when I turn it on, just on the When I turn on the default mode, it seems to be having the same light output as the other Finnex light. And overall, you can see it's much brighter. So with the previous light, for comparison, you couldn't really, there was not a lot of light getting to the bottom of the tank. While here, it is very evenly lit now. And the cool thing about this is now both tanks are going to be matching, so I'm no longer going to have two different tanks. It's going to be matchy. And they're matchy up here too, so that's kind of nice. So that is sort of what it looks like on the default. And then let me see what it will look like on the max setting. So this is, oh, it's already on the max. So that is the max and the strongest, which is the same as the Finnex Stingray. So the Stingray, it's always going to be on max. There is no way to customize, while this one you can customize, which is really nice. And we'll see, I might maybe even swap these over from one tank to another. Haven't figured that out just yet, but I'm going to press the demo button, and then we're going to get to see what it looks like. So this is as it's cycling through the different modes. Ooh, it's kind of fun. The night mode is not super duper bright, which is also good because I don't really want it to be super duper bright. I do notice that if there are more red LEDs, it really makes this guy pop. So my initial first impression of this light is I like this light quite a bit. I did struggle with this remote, so I read the instructions, and the instructions, even though they're well written, the way I process information, I didn't really understand it until I actually watched a video tutorial on YouTube. And then once I saw someone like demo this in action, I was like, oh, now I understand this. This makes sense. So if you are planning on setting this up, I recommend quickly looking up a video on YouTube. Someone will explain it to you. Once you see it in action, it's very easy to understand. So in case, you know, you're like me and you're a little slower to learning new technology, which, you know, some of us are. Some of us catch on really quickly and figure things out really fast. So for some other people, it takes a while. The video will help, and once you watch a video and see a tutorial, it's a lot easier to figure out. This is not as complicated and intimidating as it might look, but at the same time, I can see how this can be a little overwhelming. So the remote itself is kind of a pro and con. I like that you can customize of the different light settings, because on my old Finnex Stingray, you could not. So all I have is one option, which is still nice. It's still a very strong light. It's actually one of the strongest lights I have, I guess, except the Finnex Planted Nano. That's my only other really strong light. All my other lights are the budget night crew lights, and they're all have a very low output. They're affordable, but they're not very strong. So that's what you saw at the beginning. So it's nice that I can fully light the entire tank now. Before, when I would film videos of this tank, I would swap this light over just for filming purposes, and I would swap it back. So far, I really like this light. The remote is a little intimidating. I'm not a huge fan of like 8 million buttons, but I can understand why this could be very useful for other people. So this is more so like a personal preference. So my first initial impression, even though I haven't had time to test this over a longer period of time, is so far I would recommend this. Now I do still have to test it long term, so I can let you know how I feel about this light, how it stands up to the humidity in my fish room. There's also no lid on this particular tank, but I do have a lot of moss in the filter, so there's not really splashing going on. And I don't know, the other one survived all my splashiness, so I'm hopeful that this one will be able to handle this as well and do well for the setup that I have. So thank you for watching my video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and in the comments down below, let me know if you've ever tried this brand. Other than my opinions, I would definitely love to know what you think of this as well. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to share this with your fishy friends. I hope that you had a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.